Hey, welcome everybody, it's Daniel. Thanks for joining me. In this video, we're going to be creating a room database. So in this app, you'll see a list of names here. I kind of added Daniel a couple of times, but you'll notice it's just a list of names and I can kill the app. So say I were to kill the app, open it back up again, the names will still be there. And this is being saved to a database on the phone, on local storage. This does not require internet. You can maybe in this scenario, this is kind of a list of friends. You could add like a card view, like a nice recycler view with a list of names and maybe their picture and their hobbies and their job title and their age and stuff. But just for this video, we're going to just create a simple list of names. And the next video will actually make it look pretty. And maybe also add it where you can actually type out a name. Say I were to type out Daniel and hit a save button, it'd save it to the database on the device. It's important to stress that I can literally go up here, I can put it in airplane mode, I can turn Wi-Fi off and it'll still work. It'll be saved on the phone's device. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So the couple things we need to do. First, first of all, I already have an Android Studio project opened up. So if not, you can go to File, New Project. I just call mine Room Database, save it somewhere, use Kotlin. You might look like this on the left side. Go ahead and open that up. And the first thing we need to do is add to our app module. We need to do this. So come over to the build.gradle file for the module app, and let's do this. Let's do apply plug. Actually, what we'll do, I'm just going to copy that. Apply plugin, and this one needs to be, I think this needs to be Kotlin. Actually, we can keep that part. This needs to say, so go ahead and do that. I'm going to reformat the code so we have that new line there. I'm going to go ahead and sync that. And the next thing we need to do is we need to actually add our dependencies for Room. So in this case, and I'll add this to the developer, I'll add this to the YouTube comments, but we need to add a couple of lines. I think we're not using coroutine, so it's just these two lines right there. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it inside of our dependencies there. This just kind of pulls in a bunch of code that Google has written. And it's using a Room version, so we need to actually add that variable there, and it's right here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that and get that out of the way, and that can just go right there. And again, I'll put the link in the description so you can copy this. So yeah, we have our Room database version 2.2.1, and a cool thing is if you ever want to know what, you can go to maven.google.com, and you can actually search for Room and go ahead and do enter, and we need the runtime, and you can actually see that the latest version is 2.2.1, so that's exactly what we need. Okay, cool. So in this case, since we are using Kotlin there, we need to change this annotation processor to cap, I think, yeah, like that. So that needs to go there. I'm gonna go ahead and sync it, and we should be done with this file after this is done. So just go ahead and sync it. Not sure what's going on. Did it sync it? I think it did. Okay, cool. So what's this? Open project structure. What did I press? Do we have access to it? Let's see really quick. Yep, I pulled it in. Okay, cool. So we have that. So we're gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and close content main because we don't need it right now. We added that there. We added our two variables. We synced it. I'm gonna go ahead and hide that, not sure what that is. So we're done with this file, we're done with the module Gradle, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of all this stuff here because we don't need it. This is in main activity, should be good for now. I'm just gonna go ahead and close that. And let's go to Java, we'll open up our package, and in this case, what we wanna do, we wanna add a model for our friends database. So we'll do this friend, we'll make it a class. This will be actually a data class, and data classes don't take that, so it's just like that. I'm gonna put some spacing there. Inside of here, we're gonna do a couple of things. We'll do val, we'll do UID, this will be an int. I think we'll go ahead and do that. We'll have a val first name, we'll do a string, because that's a text. String is text, and then we'll do val, we'll do, maybe you rate your friends. I don't know, it's probably a bad idea. But in this case, we'll rate our friends. So rating, so this will be an integer, so it'll be a number. So maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you like that friend. Maybe some friends you don't like, maybe some you're closer to. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we have our kind of model set up right now. And so in Room, we need to add a couple of things. So in this case, for our data model, we need to do this. We need to do entity, And again, that's available because we added the Gradle dependencies there. So we actually have access to that. Okay, cool. So we have that entity friend. We need to do a couple of things. So we'll do this. We'll do primary key, and I think we'll do inside of here, we'll do auto generate equals true. That means that every time we insert something into the database, it'll start at 0 and go to 100. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll just keep going up and up. And in this case, we'll start with 0. Well, that'll be the default. We'll do that for now. And then also, it's important to note that we have first name and our rating. We could do last name, email address, hobbies, and stuff. But in this case, we're just going to use first name and then rating. So this primary key means this is going to be kind of our ID, kind of how we can look up stuff. So instead of searching for like Daniel, you can search for an ID of maybe 22, and that represents Daniel Malone. Okay, I think that's all we need for that. There is a case where we could actually make these be different names, but I think first name and rating is good. So our model is done. We added entity there. That's important. Make sure you don't forget that. Okay, let's move on to something else. Let's do this. Let's do new Kotlin class, and we'll call this friend DAO. This will be a class. Actually, no, this will be an interface, I think. So we have our friend DAO. And the first thing we want to do is we want to go up here and do DAO, just like that. That imports the Android X Room database. And again, we're just getting our database set up so we can actually store all these names in the database. So we have that, and there are a couple things we want to do. Let's add our methods here. So fun, I think this is be like get all friends. And this will return a list of friend. So that'll return a list, get friends. What do we do there? There we go. So that'll be a method for getting all friends. We also need to insert friends. So we'll do insert friend. And then inside of here, I think we just do friend. We'll do, yeah, just like that, friend. Now, a couple of things. So every time we call this method, it'll give us back a list of our friends. Every time we call this method, it'll insert a friend in the database. But we're not finished there. We need to add some annotations. So inside of our insert friend, we'll do insert, just like that. That pulls in the Android X Room database. And inside of here, I think we do select, or what is it? It's like a query. And inside of here, we'll do just like a MySQL query. If you're familiar back from I'm a former web developer, so I'm familiar with this a whole lot, especially in my early days of web development. We'll do select all from, I think we'll just do friend, and it has autocomplete, so that's kind of cool. Okay, I think this class is done. So we have our data model there, which kind of represents our user ID, a first name, and a rating. We have our friend setup, AO setup here. We have a method for adding friends. We have a method for inserting friends. Let's see what else we need to do. We need to do the kind of friends database. So one more class, and then we'll go back to main activity. So we'll name this friend. We'll name this friend data. Well, yeah, friends database. That's why not class. And this will be let's go ahead and do this. This will be an abstract class. And we need to add something to the top here, database. And inside of here, we need to do entities, and we can do the Kotlin syntax, friend class. And then I think we need a version also, so we'll do version equals 0. We'll do 0. Yeah, we'll start at 0. Why not? So just to kind of recap, we have our friend data model there. We kind of have our methods for inserting and adding friends. And to actually access all of this right here, we need our friends database. So that's kind of what this is going to do. So inside of here, let's do this. Let's do abstract fun, and we'll do friend DAO, and this will return our friend DAO. I think we're done with this. So we have our entity. So this database kind of says, hey, the data we're going to use is this friend database right there, or this friend model. And every time you update this, it's important to go ahead and update your version here. Or I'll show you in a second how we can just go ahead and nuke the storage on the device. Or ideally, maybe in a future lesson, we'll do migrations where if you update your database, so say we're going to add like Val last name, or say I do email, that would crash the app, I think. unless we update this to 1. So every time you update this, like say you were to add email, you'd have to update that and do migrations and stuff, but we won't get into that in this video. We'll do that in a future lesson probably. Okay, so I think that's all good. Now let's go ahead and go back to main activity, and now we can access all these classes we've been building. So we'll do this. We'll do val database equals room dot database builder. We'll pass in the context. So this, I think it's database builder. Oh, it's just not enough. So database builder. I think this takes. What else does it take? A class. Oh, so we need to pass in friend data. Base class.java. That's kind of what we have to do there. Okay, then we'll name it. We'll name this friend database. Let's see, database. And then I think that's good for now. And then we'll do, actually this is kind of small, so I'm going to go ahead and do it all on the same line. Why not? This is kind of short. I don't need to wrap it. Oh well, it's kind of long, but oh well. Oh, it does that. Anyways, okay, so we'll just do it on that line. Friend database, I think that's good. We need to do dot build room dot database builder. We have our context there. Database name, what is it complaining about? Oh, we forgot to do something, or I forgot to do something. Let's go back to friend database. I think this needs to extend, I think it's room database. I think that's, there we go. Okay, cool. So that's the last thing on there. So for our friend database, we just extend room database, and I think that should take care of the error, and it does. Okay, cool. Now the exciting part, we can actually use our database now. So let's do this. Let's do database. Again, that's our variable up there, and we're just passing in some context, what kind of database we want, and then the name for the database. That can be anything. So the database dot, one last thing, dot build there. And this, let's go ahead and do this. Now we can do database dot, then it suggests our friends DAO. Remember, that's from, I think, right there. So we're using that there. Dot, and then you'll notice we have our two methods there. Those are the same two methods that are in here. So get all friends and insert friend. So we have access to that. So let's do dot, let's do get all friends, and I'll save that to a variable. So we'll do val all friends equals that. Okay, so we have our all friends there. So now let's go ahead and do this. Let's log something to logcat. So whenever we log something to logcat, and I'll go ahead and clear that. But whenever we log something to logcat, we just select our emulator, our app, and then we can set our level of what we want, and we can search for stuff. So search for Daniel, or search for crash, or search for whatever. So in this case, we'll do I'll do Daniel, all friends size. Then we'll use our variable, so all friends dot size. Okay. So it's complaining about that. I'm going to click on there and do Alt-Enter, and that imports it for us. So I think we're good. So this line right here will give us a log down here to our logcat, the size of our friends. So our friends. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I'm going to pull that up here. I'm going to go ahead and just, this is our old app, so I'm going to go ahead and kill that. And I'm going to go ahead and, I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and run it. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what error it gives us. Let's just see what happens. So it crashes instantly. And do we have it? Is that the right, what do we name it? Room database? That run, let's see. I'm going to go to, shows is dead. I think I know what the error is, but I just, let's clear that. Let's run it one more time. Hopefully we get some errors here. Okay, cool. So I have some errors. So we're getting, so when you open up logcat, it can be like really confusing because it has tons of stuff in here. But primarily what you want to do is, if you get a crash, like if you open up the app and it crashes immediately, go ahead and go to error, and that will display the error. And I know this is kind of complicated, but there are a couple of things to know. It's usually the first line, so the line that's indented there a little bit. See how all that starts there, but this is indented a little bit. There's also this right there, so caused by that version 1.0, blah, blah, blah. But this is kind of telling us, this is the error right here, and, oh, it must be 1. So we have an error, so it must be 1 or greater. It must be equal to 1 or, it must be equal to 1 or greater. So let's go back to here, and I'm gonna go ahead and name that to 1. I'm gonna clear the logcat, I'm gonna run it again, and let's see what happens, and it crashes again. So again, we're still on error, so we're kind of debugging this together, and it's this first line here that gives us the error, and it says migration. Yeah, so if you get a migration error, in this case what you do, just open up the app info, or you can go to this from settings and just clear storage. That's a simple solution that'll work for now. I'm gonna go ahead and clear the logcat one more time. So we're working through these errors one at a time. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it again, and it crashes again. And it says, now it says cannot access database on main thread. And that's a good error because, so if you see this blue underline, also look for the blue text. So some of the text is like red, some is gray. If you look for the blue text, you can actually click on it and it'll take you right there. So it's telling us, hey, the error is right here, and it's saying cannot access database on main thread. So in Android, you have a number of threads. One of the threads is the main thread. That's actually the stuff that happens on the app, so like the stuff that happens there. In this case, we want to do all of this in the background. So this it could take a little bit of time, and we don't want to block the user from using the app while we do this in the background. But right now, this is all on the front. This is on the main thread. So kind of a way to cheat and kind of kicking the can down the road for now is we'll do allow main thread queries, and I'm going to go ahead and just put that on the next line. Again, in a future lesson, we'll get rid of that. We'll do it a different way, but for right now, that'll work. So just allow main thread queries. Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and clear that. I'm going to run it one more time. Let's see what error it gives us. So it opens up and it didn't crash. Okay, now I'm going to change this to verbose, and I'm going to search for Daniel because that's what our logcat is searching for. And it says all friends size, and it's 0. And that's because we haven't inserted any friends. So we're actually getting our friends there, but we haven't actually inserted any friends. So it's letting us know, hey, we have 0 friends in there. Let's fix that. Go to main activity. Let's do this. That's above, so above all friends, let's do this. Let's do database.friend.insert. And instead of here, we'll insert a friend. We'll do friend. We'll do first name equals Daniel. And what's the other one? Press Control P. Did I give it a rating by default? I think we can do rating equals 10 because I'm a good. Let's do 1,000 because I'm a really, really good friend. Daniel is a really good friend. Gonna save it, run it one more time. The app opens up, and you see we have all friend size. It's 1. So what we can actually do is we can actually do this. So let's actually display something on the UI. So we have right now we're just displaying hello world there, but I'm going to open up resources. So then I'm going to go to layout, content main, and this I'm going to get rid of the text line because we don't want that. And I'm going to give this an ID. So ID will equal friend. We'll do friends text view because why not? So this one. We gave it an ID of friends text view. We can go back to main activity and do this. We'll do friends text view dot. Actually, no, we won't do that. We'll do, and this is kind of a bad practice. So pretty much most of this is good, but this is just for testing. I'm going to do all friends dot for each, and this is kind of a cool Kotlin method. And we'll do friend text view dot append. Again, might not want to do this in real life, but for testing, this is fine. We'll fix this in the next lesson. We'll do its dot first name. And let's give it a space. So we'll go ahead and so for our friends text view there, we're going to add something to it. So for each friend, so for each of our friends, we'll add its first name. And that right there just means put a new line. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go and save that. I'm going to run it, and let's see what we have. We have Daniel Malone twice, or we have Daniel twice. So I'm going to make that a lot bigger. Text size, we'll do 30SP. Also text color, we'll do number 000, which is black. And again, you can set that to any color you want. I'm going to set it to black. Going to save it, run it one more time, and let's see what we have. We have 3 Daniels. And that's because every time we run the app, we're inserting something. So in the next video, what we could do is add, maybe every time you press a button, it adds a new friend. But we can change this to, we'll change this to Nathan. I'll go ahead and run that. And yeah, now we have Nathan. So we're successfully saving stuff to the database. It's being stored on the device. I can turn internet off. I can put it in airplane mode. I can do whatever I want to do, and it will still save it to local storage. So I'm going to stop the video here, and in the next lesson we'll actually make this pretty. So instead of just displaying the names like this, we'll actually make it pretty with a recycler view. So this room database will be powering a recycler view. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.